Okay, the student number shall take the registration number. Okay, and the registration number. Now, I want to ask someone or one of you, which of these details on a student is unique about every student? Which of the details about a student?
Registration number.
The registration number, okay? The registration number. It can never be the same. The registration number will never ever be the same. What else is unique? Yes, Grega, Vincent.
The student number.
The student number. Exactly. We have two of these details. They are unique about a student. The name, the gender, we can have the same name. Most of you have, some of you have similar names. We can have the same gender. We can have the same age. You can even have the same birthday. Okay? But the student number and registration number will never be the same. When we have this, we say that in this table called student table, this registration number will be our primary key. What is the primary key? A unique field in a record. A record will mean we have captured one student called Chibirango Edlis. This is the registration number. That is a record. We call another one called Akongo Cynthia. That is also a record. Another one called Bridget Kobusinje. This is her registration number. She is male. That is also a record. Okay. Now, something unique about a record is what we call a primary key. Okay. So we can say that in this table called student, we have a primary key called registration number. This is our primary key. Okay, that's the primary key. Now, there was again something that is unique about every student, which is the student number. Okay, which is the student number. I think it also qualifies to be a primary key, isn't it? Does the student number qualify to be called a primary key?
Yes.
Good. Now, if it qualifies to be a primary key, but it wasn't considered to be a primary key, get me well, if a field qualifies to be a primary key, but because of circumstances, it wasn't considered to be the primary key. For example, we have these two. Student number is unique, registration number is unique. But we have decided the primary key is going to be registration number. The student number had a chance of becoming the primary key, but it wasn't taken. In that case, the student number is not called a primary key, but it is called a candidate key. It is called a candidate key. So the student number is called candidate key. What is a candidate key? A field that qualified to be a primary key. Okay? A candidate key is a field that qualifies to be a primary key, but it is not considered to be, or it wasn't taken to be a primary key. We considered some other field, but not that candidate key. Okay? So, a candidate key is that field in a record that qualifies to be a primary key. The primary key is that unique field in a record. Okay. So given the fact that these two were all unique and they could be considered primary key, we only considered the registration. Another fact: a primary key, a table can't have more than one primary key. A table can't have more than one primary key. A table must have only and only one primary key. A table can have only one primary key. Only one primary key. Okay. Now, this student table is having a primary key called registration number. Registration number. Registration number. Remember, we said this table is linked to other tables, is related to other tables. But what brings about that relationship? What is going to bring that relationship? Yes, Mark, before I proceed, you might have something interesting.
If the registration number is the primary key, I mean, if
Yes,
the student number is the primary key,
it's a
registration number
candidate
is
key.
the candidate key. Can it work the reverse way?
Yeah, you can. You can decide to take the student number.
Aya.
The choice is yours as a developer or as an expert in SQL. All right, so we were saying that the registration number we have considered it to be the primary key in the student table. But this table is related to other tables. As you look at it, the student table is related to the programs, it is related to the faculties, it is related to the courses. Now, what brings about this relationship? The primary key of the student table is registration number. Now, if we need this table to relate to this table, if we need this table, the student, to relate to the programs table, we get the primary key of this table, student table. We get the primary key of this table and we reflect it in all the tables we want to be linked to the student table. An example. The student table is, I want you to be very attentive, my dears. Okay, I want you to be very attentive. The student table has a primary key called registration number, but it is linked to the programs table. How do we bring that relationship? What we do, we go in the we go in the programs table. We go in the programs table. Remember, the programs table has its own details. Maybe they call the program name, the program, the location, and blah, blah, and so much others. Now, we come and we say one of the records, one of the fields in this programs table, we are going to indicate registration number. Okay? We shall go in the programs table and we indicate registration number. But remember, registration number doesn't belong to this programs table. No, it belongs to the student table. Okay, it is a primary key in the students table, but we are reflecting it in the programs table. Why do you think we are doing that? You can guess. Why are we bringing the registration? Because we know that the registration number is a field in the students table, but we are reflecting it here in the programs table. What is going on? Yes, Abenaitwe.
Because we want to show that the program table is going to have attributes that are going to come from the student table.
Good. Yes, Nachibula. Why do you think it is like that?
Yes, sir, just in order to create a relationship
Good.
between the student and the program.
Wonderful. For us to be able, I think it was the same answer with the Lubega Vicent. Lubega, why?
We want to get a foreign key that's going to help us link the two tables.
Wonderful. For us to have the relationship between these two tables, we must have a related field. We must have something similar between these two tables. And what is that something similar? It is the registration number. So for us to be able to